Hola a todos and welcome back to the channel. Now, today's video might ruffle a few feathers, so if you're easily annoyed, maybe you should go just pop the kettle on and come back later on when you're a bit calmer. Because today I'm going to talk about why, after living in both the UK and Spain, the lifestyle in Spain works better for me. And you know, no, it's not a Britain's terrible video. I was born and raised in Scotland, and I love Scotland, but I also live in Spain now, and for me, day to day, Spain just works better. So let's talk about it properly. You know, no Instagram fantasies, no estate agent nonsense, just real day to day life. And we'll start with the obvious one, the weather. And I know everybody starts with the weather, but honestly, it matters much more than people will admit. You know, in the UK you wake up, it's grey, it's raining, sideways rain. You check the forecast and it's rain, rain, more rain. Maybe the next day, possibly rain. In Spain, blue sky, sunshine. Repeat. And before anyone says, aye, I know, but Spain gets awfully hot in the summer. You know, it does. But, you know, I'll take too hot over too wet and miserable any day. Because sunshine changes everything. Changes your mood, your energy levels, your motivation. You know, you're out walking, you're meeting people, sitting in cafes. Back in the UK, half the year you're hiding indoors like a vampire. And what about the cost of living? And this one always starts arguments. So let's be sensible about it. Spain isn't a cheap paradise, and the UK is not hell on earth. You know, but for day-to-day life, Spain wins for me. And we'll look at some real examples, you know, things like coffee and beers, lunch menus, going for a haircut, car insurance, eating out. In Spain, you know, what coffee, €1.50, €3 for a beer. You can get a lunch with wine for €12, €15 for a haircut. Car insurance around €350, and that includes full breakdown cover, which you have to pay for separately back in Britain. And you know, two people can have a lovely meal with drinks for around €45. In the UK, you need a small remortgage on your house to do the same every month. You know, don't get me started on energy bills. In winter in Britain, you know, we're seeing regular reports of people having to choose between heating and eating. In Spain, you're choosing between shade or another cold beer. And that's a much nicer choice. And what about buying property? This is a big one. You know, in many parts of the UK now, 250k would get you a shoebox next to a busy road with neighbours that can hear you fart and sneeze. You know, in Spain, for the same money, you'll get outdoor terraces, balconies, maybe even a pool. You'll get plenty of sun, you'll get often gated communities. Usually quiet and very, very clean. And outdoor living matters. You know, you don't live inside a box here. You live on your terrace, on your balcony, or your pool, or the roof, in the street, the plaza. Life happens outside here in Spain. Sadly, in Britain, it happens in the living room, with the telly on, and the heating on in full blast. That's if you can afford it, of course. And quality of life. You know, this one surprised me. Spain is slower. It's not lazy, it's just slower. Shops close, people take lunch breaks, people talk, people stop. And look, lots of people behind me. just out enjoying a Sunday afternoon in the sun. It's not a bad wee life, is it? And anyway, back to the difference between Spain and the UK. You know, we talked about how Spain is slower, but you know, in the UK, people rush and they queue and they rush and they queue and they stress and they get angry, then they repeat. Everybody's late, everybody's tired, everybody's annoyed, everybody's skint. In Spain, people still sit for 2 hours for lunch. They chat to their neighbours and they still walk. They still live, and you can feel it. Your blood pressure drops 10 points when you move here. People just in the background there, also enjoying their sunny Sunday. What are you doing on Sunday back in the UK? And another big thing here that's different is a sense of community. In Spain, you know your neighbours, you know your bar staff, the local shopkeeper. People talk to you in Spain. You know, when you walk into a bar, it's Hola Duncan. In Britain, you know, you live next door to your neighbour for 20 years and you don't even know their name. You walk into a bar in the UK and you get funny looks, people saying, who's that guy? Why does he want to talk to me? And for expats here in Spain, there's community, quiz nights, coffee groups, there's walks, charity events. You're not isolated here unless you choose to be. But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. We need to talk about the bureaucracy and the practicalities of life here. Let's be fair, Spain isn't perfect and the bureaucracy can be brutal. Paper, forms, stamps, more forms, more stamps. It seems endless when you're trying to do anything official. But on the flip side, you know, healthcare's excellent. It's affordable, it's efficient, and it's professional. I've had better care here than I ever had in the UK. You know, from dentists, from specialists and clinics. And you're not waiting 18 months just to see someone. Now listen, before the comments explode, Spain isn't paradise, let's be honest. The bureaucracy is mental. The summer heat can be brutal. Salaries are low if you work here. It's never-ending paperwork. And some towns are dead in the winter. And the language barrier is tough. You know, so it's not for everyone. You know, if you're looking for fast service and big salaries, a career ladder and city life, most of Spain won't suit you, and that's fine. This is about what works for me, not for what works for everyone. So why do I prefer Spain? Well, simple. You know, I'm healthier, I'm happier, I'm less stressed, I'm more active, more social, and I just enjoy my days more. I'm not constantly worrying about bills and the weather and having to commute, the pressure. I wake up and think, right, what will I do today? Instead of thinking, how am I going to get through today? And that's the difference. So, is Spain better than the UK? Well, for me, yeah, it is. And for you, maybe not. And that's fine. You know, tell me in the comments, would you move to Spain? Why? And if not, why not? So let's have a proper conversation about it. You know, no nonsense, no abuse, no keyboard warriors saying why they're right and I'm wrong. Just no nonsense. And if you found it useful, remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the next video. Hasta luego.